Fermentation. Never fly too close to the sun. Look before you leap, and whatever you do, make sure to clean your tail feathers. Those were basic rules that every harpy knew. 500's made sure she followed the rules. That was a given. But no one had warned her about ink sprites. Those little swines were tough enough to break the strongest of giants. You see, these tiny fairies were not like other sprites. These ones fed on negativity. Any unhappy thought or feeling you had was more than likely due to one of these ink sprites. 500's hated them. She hated their very being, which, in all honesty, probably fed them even more. 500's was a beautiful harpy. Her feathers glistened like black pearls with tints of purple. She shared the face and body of a human, but there was no hiding the huge wings she had in place of arms. With one leap she could reach the stars. She had first noticed that something wasn't right after a week of refusing to look in any body of water in case her feathers had been ruffled. She had an actual feeling of sickness at the thought, and a little voice that whispered in her ear to tell her how disgusting she looked, how her feathers looked like a rotting carcass, how she must ooze with such stench, what a foul being she is. This was the final straw. 500's would not rest until she found the ink sprite. No longer would it rule her life. The first feather plucked was the most disappointing. She was certain it was hidden behind it. The next dozen or so feathers came out in a fit of rage. Still nothing. Feathers flew, filling the air, dusting the ground, eventually turning into a carpet. What had been a beautiful face was now panicked and frantic. Her eyes red with fury as tears burnt down her skin. Her wailing filled the open field, madness flowing freely. There! No hiding this time. The ink sprite was clear to see. Just one more feather and it would be over. Found! Yet the relief 500's thought she would feel was not there. The tiny ink sprite that had done such damage, that had turned her from a glorious harpy into the shell of crazy, well, it was a pile of bones. The ink sprite was long dead. 500's was baffled, to say the least. If this creature had died, then it must have been her own head, her own voice. She must have been the one behind it. Sure, it could have started as the ink sprite, but it definitely wasn't the ink sprite at the end. It was her. She looked around and saw all of her glorious feathers on the ground. Her skin scratched and scarred. Blood dripping, she dropped, submerged in the feathers. For weeks she had buried herself in silence, waiting, hoping. Without a feather, she could not fly. Without a feather, she was no harpy.